Strange things are happening over at Slipknot HQ, as the heavy metal band have announced the departure of yet another member, with another sitting out an upcoming European tour, in addition to possibly even more dates beyond that. Hey neighbor, welcome back to Beyond ARTV. First of all, welcome back. My name is John. We're talking about Slipknot for a few reasons, and I'm getting concerned because it feels like the exit and rotation of members has become more increasing of a problem in recent years and decades, and it dates back, of course, to the untimely death of Paul Gray in the early 2010s, with Point 5, the Gray chapter, honoring him, and now they've announced the departure on June 7th, 2023, of founding member and their sampler, Craig Jones. I say founding member for Craig Jones, but really that's technically not true because he was not on Mate, Feed, Kill, Repeat, but everything since then, it's had his name on it as well, and you most likely recognize his kind of Hellraiser-esque mask, perhaps the zipper, the bondage gear, whatever you want to call it. He was a very scary and terrifying notable presence on stage, and his contributions to the band, much like all of the others, were very unique. Slipknot are not like most bands in the sense that they just have a 4 or 5 piece lineup, not a trio, anything like that. With 9 members typically on stage, you have people like Clown banging a keg, and you've got Craig Jones doing samples, Sid Wilson scratching the turntables, and then you've got Jim Root on guitars, all of the other members. And of course, Slipknot does still have a lot of members active in the band that have been around for a very long time, including Mick Thompson, Jim Root, and of course Corey Taylor. But this comes on the heels of the Chris Fane departure, the entire lawsuit that developed there, and they're starting to develop a reputation for being kind of shady and unreliable with the dismissal of bandmates. There was unfortunately a lot of stalling leading up to the End So Far that finally dropped at the tail end of 2022, and while I personally enjoyed that album, I haven't come back to it as much as I thought I would, and I do feel that there were complications within the band, some tensions that made that creative process a total labor of love. First, we got the announcement that Shawn Crahan, aka Clown, is sitting out the upcoming tour. They gave a statement on social media. Hello to all of our fans, it's the Clown. I would like to take a moment to tell everyone that I'm back home supporting my wife through some health issues, and I'll be back on the road as soon as I can. That is of course 1000% respectable, understandable. It's not really something that I see as an issue, and of course with Clown being technically the only day one still in Slipknot dating back to 1995, I don't think he's going anywhere. He's definitely one of the masterminds of the group, even though his sound isn't necessarily always the most impactful. Not to knock his efforts by any means, he gets a lot of crazy sounds out of his keg and other percussive instruments that he's taken part in playing over the years, and of course he's involved with directing music videos, art direction for album covers, everything like that, designing the masks, and I think it might be a little easier for some fans to say in the Craig Jones situation with 133 exiting the band, it's like, oh, he was the quiet one. That was quite literally his nickname. He was very shy. I don't know if we're going to get much information coming from him directly unless there's another lawsuit or something, but I also don't think it's fair to just maybe write him off or sweep him under the rug. I don't think most fans would do that, but at the same time, his contributions weren't necessarily heard as much as, say, a guitar or a turntable. Light electronic samples and eerie movements that get worked into the DNA of the songs is at the hands of Craig Jones. Those are things that he's responsible for, creating tension and atmosphere within Slipknot. So obviously, as a longtime fan of the band, I think this move kind of fucking sucks, but I kind of hope that it was on really good terms. That doesn't necessarily seem like it would add up to be the case, at least at this point in time in Slipknot, but there's always just a glimmer of hope. Slipknot released a statement on their socials saying, "To the fans, Slipknot is announcing that we have parted ways with Craig Jones. We wish Jones all the best for the future." That post is almost dangerously unenlightening. There is so little information in there that it makes me kind of lose hope. Like I said, I want it to be on good terms, but I have a strong feeling that it's most likely not, because Craig Jones appeared in promotional material to promote that album, and he is now not going on that tour right as it started. So I'm hoping that it didn't come down to something like pay or royalties, because that has kind of torn into them in the past. It's almost ironic that they put out an album called The End so far, because it's starting to feel like the end is nigh. In fact, members like Clown and Corey Taylor have said on record that they don't see themselves doing this forever. They can't keep touring at the rate they were before, and now it just seems like the cracks in the foundation are starting to decay, and if that continues eroding at the rate that it has been, then I don't know if I see Slipknot being here in 5 or 10 years' time. For every band out there, I would say especially metal groups, I think there's always this timer slowly running down, kind of like the sand in an hourglass. And for some groups, they can make it longer because the physical and mental toll of touring isn't necessarily felt as much, but with Slipknot, that is definitely running those grains through a lot faster, because if you've ever been to one of their shows, I saw them last year, and there is so much movement that goes into that. What I'm trying to say is that good things can't last forever, and I would rather see them go out with grace and dignity rather than just drag it out forever and the music gets to a point where it starts to feel very subpar. So if this is the start of the end, then I would have to say that I'm okay with it, because it does kind of feel like a lot of members leaving and everything. There's just too much what the fuckery. What do you guys think of the latest roster moves by Slipknot? Is it something much more serious than what we're even seeing at surface level, or are you just kind of brushing it off and hoping for the best? Let me know in the comments. Check out another one of my Slipknot videos on screen. Hit that like button, subscribe for the love of music, and I'll see you soon for more on Beyond ARTV.